In this video, I just want to do a few more examples of the midpoint formula. Okay, so let's start with a fairly straightforward one. Let's say I've got these 2 points, -7, -3, and 12, 10, and I'm told to find the midpoint between those 2 points. So all I'm going to do is write my midpoint formula. So the midpoint is an ordered pair, and it's going to be x sub 1 plus x sub 2 divided by 2, comma, y sub 1 plus y sub 2 divided by 2. And then I'm just going to label these coordinates. So this will be x sub 1, this will be y sub 1, x sub 2, y sub 2. And I'll plug these numbers in where I have my x sub 1 and y sub 1 and so on. So the midpoint will be the same as -7, let's see, plus 12 over 2. That's going to be the x coordinate. And the y coordinate is going to be -3 plus 10 over 2. And now I've just got to figure out what these things are. So the midpoint is going to be -7 plus 12 is 5. So I've got 5 over 2. And -3 plus 10 is 7. So that'd be 7 over 2. And I can leave these improper fractions like they are. So that's my whole solution. That's it. Okay, here's a more interesting example. Here we've got a problem. The midpoint between point A and point B is at 4, 1/2. So this is the midpoint. And point A is at 2, -3. Find point B. So let's write the midpoint formula and see how we can use that to figure this out. So the midpoint is x sub 1 plus x sub 2 over 2, and y sub 1 plus y sub 2 over 2. And in this case, I know the midpoint. The midpoint is 4, 1/2. So let's put that in over here. 4, 1/2. And I don't have 2 points, I only have 1 point. So let's take this point and call these coordinates x sub 1 and y sub 1. So I can plug those in where I have x sub 1 and y sub 1. So that's going to mean I've got 2 plus, I'm just going to write x since we don't have any other x's to deal with. 2 plus x over 2, oops, comma, let's see, y sub 1 is -3. -3 plus y over 2. Okay, so you see what I've done? I've taken the midpoint and I've actually put it in since I know what it is. And I've taken the coordinates from one of my ordered pairs and plugged them in. And the x and the y that I have will be the coordinates for the other ordered pair. So now all I've got to do is solve this. And really, this is 2 equations together. I've got a 4 equal to 2 plus x over 2. So 4 equals 2 plus x over 2. And I also have that 1/2 equals -3 plus y over 2. So 1/2 equals -3 plus y over 2. And now I'm just going to solve each one of these separately. So let's see. I've got a fraction here with a denominator of 2, so I'll multiply both sides by 2. So 2 times 4 is 8. And that means this will just be a 2 plus x. And therefore, when I subtract 2 from both sides, I'm going to get a 6 equals x, so x equals 6. And looking at my y equation, I've got both sides divided by 2, so I'll just multiply both sides by 2. That's my common denominator. Well, 2 times 1/2 is just 1, and multiplying this negative 3 plus y over 2 by 2, we'll just get rid of that 2. So I'll have negative 3 plus y. Now I just want to add 3 to both sides, and I get 4 equals y. So now I've got an x and a y. So now I know that point B, the coordinates for that will be 6, 4. So that'll be my answer. So reviewing this one, what I did here was, since I was given a midpoint, I took the midpoint and plugged it in where the midpoint part of the midpoint formula is, where the m is. And since I was given one of the 2 points, one of the 2 endpoints, I called that x sub 1 and y sub 1, plugged those values into my midpoint formula. And then I realized I really had 2 equations. I had the x part of my midpoint, and I had the y part of my midpoint. So I solved each part separately, and then I put it all together to make my ordered pair. Okay, so I hope you found this interesting. I'll see you next time.